Hey guys, Xoranath here. Today we're going to do an Element Fission tier list. So this is going to be for every Element Fission Elamon that's released, here at the end of 2025. And I'm doing it for Territory War. So there could be units that are, really good in Arena, really good in PvE, but I'm just ranking them exclusively on how they are in Territory War. This is all just, it's all for fun, and it's all my, just my opinion. This isn't like the official power ranking of these units or anything. I'm not going to be like too particular with some of the categories, so they could be like plus one, minus one in terms of where they really fall. But with that, let me know down in the comments at the end here. What you think of the list? Do you think it's somewhat close? Do you have a very different list? Just because I put a unit as, maybe it's a lower tier unit, I think pretty much every unit has some niche use in some way, and you can use pretty much any unit. I'm really just trying to rank them in terms of, their relative strengths and like what I'm seeing, as a guild leader of one of the top teams in Territory War. We're up there. So I see what a lot of the top guilds are using and not using. So a lot of this is just based on what I'm seeing. So, like I said, if you want to use some of these units that are lower tier, go ahead and use them. Maybe you could be the person to change the meta and bring some of these units up. But with that, let's just dive into it. Alright guys, let's get into it. Let's start with the bears. So first of all, we'll start with Light Bear here, who is loved and hated by many. I definitely think that Light Bear right now is S tier. I think Light Bear performs a lot better on offense than defense. On defense, it's kind of hard countered by like Dark Joker and things like that. But on offense, this unit can solo control teams or teams with not a whole lot of damage. Just a very strong unit. Definitely OP right now still. Dark Bear. I think Dark Bear is a good unit. It is not quite OP to me. I think it is maybe an A tier unit. It's very strong and has a good bit of potential for soloing teams whenever it's all by itself, because it has there's a lot of RNG involved with Dark Bear with the the chance for it to do hibernate, and then there's the glancing chance, and then also the RNG with the the extra 3 hits. Very strong unit, does good damage, pretty survivable. It is in a lot of cases just like snipeable, so you can like dome it or just an ignore defense strike. So not quite an OP tier for me. I think you could definitely make an OP version of it, but relative to like Light Bear, I do think maybe an A. Red Bear. Red Bear is good on both offense and defense, and we're gonna run into this problem a lot at the beginning where I forget where the units are. Red Bear, I'd probably put it in an A here. It had, the main thing about Red Bear is the delayed damage, which is a blessing and a curse, right? So a lot of people build it really slow. It is more of a kind of a stall unit. It also has the potential to solo some things on offense if especially if they have like a bunch of attack bar reduction stuff. You can like revenge and kill a bunch of things. Yeah, it does good damage, good survivability. It can fit into a lot of different teams. Very good bruiser unit. Green Bear, very similar. I think Green Bear is also an A. It's almost exclusively at this point used with the water Merc Mommy. It falls asleep and triggers the passive for the Merc Mommy. It is also just, it's a good bruiser. It's has the potential for a lot of control if if you're running it on bash. Gets that defense down, can kill some things. Cycles through its things pretty quick with the passive here when it's getting hit. Increase the HP. Also is vulnerable though to some ignore defense damage. So not quite as OP as light bear. Then we have the black sheep of the family, which is the blue bear, which you never see it being used. I'll move it up here for now. Blue bear is not great on defense. It doesn't... The AI is not very good on it, and it doesn't like to use the abilities when it should. Particularly, there is some potential on offense to kind of cycle through the action bar increases by not sleeping, and you can kind of, you know, boost up. Snore, not really a super strong ability, so like once it's in there, it's just kind of a not really a great unit. I think for those reasons, I will put him probably in the C category. I think I did play around with him. He is a usable water bruiser on offense. If you know, if you build him up and want to use him in a attack or two, it's not bad for that purpose, but not as good as the others right now. Definitely could use some love. All right, let's do nurses. So first, let's just grab Light Nurse and throw it all the way up into the OP. Probably the most overtuned unit in the game right now. Just crazy advantages whenever you have this, right? So it's very hard to kill, has the revive ability, and then it also can get rid of some debuffs and heal. All kinds of good stuff there. Yeah, super strong unit. I'm sure if you fought this, you hate it. If you have one, super lucky. Yeah, very, very strong. Where's the other nurses? Red Nurse, similarly, I think is also S tier unit. I still think the unrevivable, or not the what do they call it? The thing that stops it from. I guess I could just look. The unyielding on it, that needs to go away. This unit can become impossible to kill with the unyielding part of this. It used to be invincible, they changed it to unyielding, didn't help. Still, super strong unit, able to just keep your team alive. If people are running it on faith, definitely hard to do enough damage to it. A lot of the ways, you can just try to snipe it if it does have enough HP, things like that. But yeah, super strong unit. Definitely put this in your teams if you guys have one. Very good unit. Let's see. What other colors do we got here? I gotta find them down here again. I keep losing them. Well, while I look for them, we can talk about maybe the free unit that everyone gets, the Dark Nurse. I do think Dark Nurse is an S tier unit. I think great for control teams. It has, has the Oblivion in there. I use this thing all the time. It did get a slight nerf recently, but yeah, super strong unit. What are colors? So green. If I could find it, green. So while we wait for that, green is one of the units that can put 3 buffs on. So immunity, speed up, and attack. It does have the Oblivion and defense down and some healing. It's a good unit. Maybe not as strong as some of the others, but if you're running like a speed offense, it's kind of like the Adriana of this game. Man, I need to remember where these things are in here. Green Nurse, where are you? There it is. Alright, so Green Nurse, where do I put it? It's definitely not an S tier. It's usable. It's kind of in this A and B range. I think relative to some of these other things, I'm going to maybe give it a B. It's very good in a lot of situations, but like, I don't know. When I see it on defense, I'm never afraid of it. Usually you can like Leo some of those teams because they're usually very fast. It has some very good niche moments, but I think maybe we'll throw it in the B category. And then the last one, so we have Water Nurse, which is a very good PvE unit. In Territory War, you can use it with like the green bookworm for some sniping. So it has like a very, very niche use as well. I think I'll also maybe put it into B category. It's very good at the one thing it does, but that's about it. Like, again, if I see it on defense, I'm never really afraid of it or anything. Alright, so for Twin Blades, we will go ahead and grab the Light Twin Blade and throw it into the OP section. So this is the one that makes it impossible to, do the ignore defense thing. And then they're going to get some extra, retain their defense, and it's immune to all effects, which is crazy. Yeah, super strong unit, makes pretty much any team it's on very difficult to deal with. Probably, another candidate that probably deserving of a nerf of some sort. Where's the Dark One? Dark One's cool. It's the one that spreads the spreads buffs, which is a very strong mechanic. So you can like spread hex, things like that. Don't think it's quite OP. I think it's a very fun unit. I think I'll maybe throw it in the A category. I guess we could talk about the red one. Red one's a reviver. Has an arena speed lead. In Territory War, not so good. I think I'm going to maybe put him down here in C. Maybe some niche use cases where, you have it with like some other revivers and things like that, and just make a really hard to kill team. Generally don't see it used all that much on offense or defense. What color's next? Blue. Blue is a very strong offensive unit. I don't think it's super great on defenses. So it definitely in the A, could be in the OP category. I think because it's almost hard countered by like Tree Barbarian in defense, I think I'm just gonna put it in the A category. But yeah, you can run these super fast water teams with like the sharpshooter and just really destroy things. It's a very good unit, don't get me wrong. And I still don't have one. The green one. Green one is also a very good unit. Kind of more in the bruisery category. This is one whenever I see it, I'm like, ugh. I think it's very good on defenses. Very usable on offenses too. It's just a strong bruiser unit, and the mechanic of stealing the attack and defense is super strong. So I'll put him up in the A category. Did we do all of them? Yep. All right, let's do spheres. So Light Sphere, I think, is another S tier unit. This unit, it's basically a free win. It's really kind of busted. Does ignore defense damage and then basically just blows up the rest of the enemies and just kind of ignores anything that the team has going on. So yeah, definitely OP unit right now. Maybe a little too strong. And where's the Dark One? Dark One, this is a unit that recently got buffed for some reason. I still think it's already an S tier OP unit. This is the one that does the reflect, and then when you hit something other than it, it's going to, be immune to debuffs, and then there's, reflect for the allies. I have been having a lot of luck beating these things with the new Red Viking, so there is a new unit that does beat it a lot. But you know what? For all the teams it's on, it's super annoying, super hard to kill. Stacks up a lot of wins on defense. So yeah, definitely still an S tier unit to me. The green one is a great unit for control teams with the removing the buffs from a single unit, and then the paralysis, and then the attack bar reset. Very strong unit. I don't know that I'm going to put it in the OP tier. I think, looking at the units that are up there, it's not quite as strong as some of them. Very good unit, though. The red one is not really used all that much in Territory War. I think you see it a lot more in Arena. For, some arena cleaving. It does the, the true damage thing when it's in the core form. In a 3-unit setup, it's a little bit harder for it to shine. I think maybe we will put him... do I do it? I think, you'd never see this unit, and I don't know that it's great in Territory. I'm going to throw it down here in D for Territory War. A lot higher for, like, Arena, but nobody uses this thing. Same for blue. Blue's a cool unit that it seems cool on paper. It's definitely has the arena speed leads. You could fit it into some control teams maybe, but for Territory War, it's not used all that much either. I will say, I think it has more potential than red in Territory War. Like, you could maybe come up with a team for it, but you just don't see it. So I'll put him down in C. All right, let's do the assassin. So we'll grab the dark assassin right away and throw it up here. This is another busted unit. This unit is so strong. It doesn't interact with with your team. It just kills. So yeah, it's another free win unit. Little too busted, super strong, no question. S tier for me. The light one has that like revive mechanic and stuff. Whenever with the buffs, I think this, I think it's a good unit, strong unit. Not as good as the dark. Debating whether I want to keep it in A or the OP. I think just for relative strength, I'm just gonna put it in A. Definitely a very good unit though. I guess we could do green. Green has a cool mechanic of healing from damage over time. Does some decent damage. You don't see it a lot. I think it's definitely usable. It's maybe an underused unit for like some offenses. Defenses might be a little harder to use him on just because weird AI mechanics on who he's going to throw dots on and things. Offense, definitely usable. I think he's maybe a B, middle of the road. He's definitely usable. Red is one of my favorite of the assassin family. Very strong unit. I think he's an A up here. Just does really good damage. And the shield can give him some survivability. Fun mechanics on that one. And then the blue one, which I've lost. Blue one is another kind of underused one. So this has the kind of health swap mechanic and the invincible and healing over time and puts the incurable. You could do some flippy flop shenanigans with him. Does some good damage. I think just relative though to some of these other ones, we'll put him down here maybe in the B category. Again, very good on offense. Probably usable on defense if the AI can do the flippy flop thing at the right time, but I think I'll maybe put it at B for now. Do we do all of them? Green, red, yep. All right, let's talk about barbarians. So let's start out with, let's do like the red one. I think the red one is a very good unit. So this is the one, kind of like the red Dragon Knight from, Summoner's War, where it has the mechanic where you can't do more than 25% of its max HP at a time. And it's also a good unit into like invincible units because it can ignore all buffs. I think it's a good unit. I don't think it's OP. I think it's just I think it's an A. Then we have the Leo. So this is the one that brings everybody's speed down to his level, which that mechanic alone is super strong. The rest of the unit though is not. He doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It's kind of. He could do some damage whenever you get down to the, the ignored defense part of it, but it's kind of hard to get him there. I think without the mechanic of the, the speed thing, he's down here somewhere. With the speed thing, and just because of the speed thing, I think I have to give him an A just for that purpose. That's just such a strong mechanic to be able to bring into like a super fast team, which the existence of this unit is what makes, like the green nurse down in B, right? The blue one is maybe... Blue one's one where I'm a little conflicted about it. You don't see it a whole lot. It has a very fun mechanic of removing the debuffs and increasing its HP. Very, very usable bruiser unit. Don't see it a whole lot. I think we'll maybe put him down in the B category. Then we have the light one. I think the light one is pretty decent. You know, we have the immunity to inability effects. Stacking up its attack over time. It's a usable on offense and defense in some situations. It's not a bad, not too bad of a unit. I don't think it's busted or anything. I think we'll keep it up in the A category. The dark one, which I call it the purple paperweight. You can do some really good damage with it if you get it down. It takes too much to set it up. You need the attack boost on it. You need to be in the right amount of HP. Super hard to set up. You can crank out 100,000 damage with it, but it's just too hard to set up. And then this passive, it's not strong. It looks super busted on paper, but it just, whenever you go in, like 30% crit damage reduction, it's just, you don't even really notice it. And the action bar increase isn't super strong. I don't think he's good. I think he's so looking here, I'm gonna put him down in the C category. I don't think he's good. All right, let's talk about the Dr. Evil. So I think the dark one is I think it's an S tier unit to me. You can really set up some almost impossible to beat combos with the with control teams if you're fast enough. It's a very strong unit for control teams. The light one is also one that is super strong. You reflect debuffs on it, except for the inability one, so you can like stun him and stuff. He's one whenever I see it in defense, I go ugh. I'm gonna also put him up here in the OP category. I think he's a very strong unit. Let's see, where's the other ones? So who do we have? Green. Green is not used on defense. It's just a cleave unit. I don't think he's particularly used a whole lot. I mean, every once in a while you can, throw him out and just cleave the team, but on defense, definitely not a good unit on defense. I'm gonna keep him up here in B tier or C tier. Where do I want to put him? He's more usable than these units down here. We'll give him a B. Red, very similar situation, but I think maybe less usable than green for cleaving, unless it's an old tree team or something. But I'm gonna put him in C category. Blue, I think, is a good unit. It's like, I think it's the only unit in the game that can put the the reflect buff, not including like dark sphere passive, onto units. Where'd he go? They were up top here, weren't they? I can't find him. There he is. Do I think he's busted? No. Do I think he's very good? Yes. Get the heal, get the immunity, get the reflect. I think he's a good unit. He might be A or B, somewhere in here. I am going to put him on A for now. I think you can build him very good. Let's see. We did all of the evils. All right, let's talk about the Iron Fist. So first we have the Camilla, the blue Iron Fist, which you don't see a whole lot. I think it's good for some niche situations where maybe you have an all-water bruiser offense that you're going into like an all-fire defense. Very usable from that perspective. Otherwise, not really all that good on defense. It can be in a bruiser team or something, but it's not a super strong unit. It's definitely not an A tier unit. It's either a B or a C tier unit. And just looking here, I think I'm gonna maybe put it down here in the C tier for now. It's somewhere over here. Red is another one that you just don't see all that much. I used Veligil a lot in Summoner's War. Don't really see people, using it here. Palm Courage is a nice ability. Remove all debuffs, 3-turn immunity, increase action bar, and then we have a, defense down. Don't really see it used all that much. I think it's an okay unit. Do I think it's better than blue? Maybe. Green, so this is our Reviver. This one is used, since, one of the few Revivers in the game. I think I'm going to put it... I think we'll put it up in the A category just because, it does have that Revive mechanic. It's an okay healer. It's not... If it didn't have, like, the Revive, this would be, down here somewhere. But, with the Revive mechanic, makes it usable. The light one is not all that good. Counterattack with the critical hit. It's almost very hard countered by Dark Joker, sadly. This is one that probably needs a buff of some sort. Never really scared to fight it. It's probably down here with like the purple barbarian. The dark one. The dark one can do some okay damage. It has that the Vengeful Mark is kind of a unique thing with it. Not a super scary unit though. Like I'm usually not afraid of it when I see it. I think we'll maybe. It's kind of a middly unit. I think I'll maybe put it in a B category. All right, let's talk puppets. So we'll start out with the green one. So this is the one with the death prevent. Very usable unit to just slap into, some of your territory war defenses. Makes the team a little bit more survivable. I think I'll put it up here in the A category. That's a good one. Red is, one of the flippy flop units. It's kind of a gimmicky one. You can use it with some of the other HP mechanic units on offense or even in defense with like the blue monk and the dark was it the dark sucky boy, whatever the ant cannon, wherever he is. I think it's probably less usable than the green. It could be very good in very niche situations, but I think overall I'm going to maybe put it in the B category. Blue, I don't see it a whole lot, but it does have a good kit, right, for PvP. So you can do the AoE freeze, sleep, and defense break. It's not going to crit, so you can use it into some Dark Joker things. You have the pushback and sleep. I think this is an maybe underused unit in PvP. It's definitely used a lot in PvE. I will say it's not an S. It's not an S tier. It's maybe an A or a B. Just because of how little it is used, relative like green. I think I will put it maybe in the B tier. I think you guys definitely use this unit though if you like it. We have the light and dark. Light has the 42% arena lead, which is, we're not in arena, so that's gonna make it less usable here. And it just has another flippy flop thing and attack bar increase. Kind of a gimmicky one, not super OP or anything. Where's the puppet? Light one. I think I might even put it down here in like the C category for territory war. I don't know. I don't see it a whole lot, so maybe you guys who do have it can talk more about it. But just where it is, it seems like a C category to me. Dark Puppet is one I do have. I think it is a good unit. It's a very good control unit. We are in like super high res metas. It is a little hard to use on defense, but it's a decent offense unit. I think it's definitely better than some of these other ones. So I think it's maybe an A tier. It's definitely not OP to me. Maybe if we get some other units that can support sleep mechanics, maybe it'll end up doing a little bit better. All right, so let's talk about the Electros. So red is very, Very good at going into control teams. It kind of wants to get debuffs on it, and then it's gonna, get rid of them, and heal itself, and get the attack bar. Very, very good unit. I think we'll put it in A. I think I almost had the same things to say about blue. You can do this AoE strip on it. We can remove debuffs and heal. Very good support unit. Then we have green, which is the Sierra, the bomber one. This is a unit that even, it has this 30% effect accuracy. Usable on offense. Defense, it's a little tougher because, super high res meta. So if somebody just comes in with a bunch of res, you can just make this unit kind of useless. I think in a different meta, this is an A. I think current meta, I'm going to give it a B. The light one. So this one has another weird flippy flop action bar thing, and attack bar increase and attack boost. This is one where, you don't see it a whole lot. And in the times I have seen it, I've been a little underwhelmed. I think it's maybe also a B. Dark, very similar to green. It's another bomber one. This one has the cool mechanic though of removing buffs and applying paralysis. I think this is a good one. Again, a little harder in super high res meta, but paralysis is a really good debuff. I think I'm gonna give the dark one an A. All right, let's talk about Specialist, which, in looking at this tier, I think Specialist might be like one of the strongest, if not the strongest family in the game, where just every unit is just very good. Red is probably one of the best. It's definitely the best elemental speed lead for control teams. I think I'm gonna have to put it in S. Super high res meta. It is harder to use. You need to really have good speed and accuracy for it. But speed lead, AOE strip stun dot thing is just that's a super strong ability. Blue one. This is the one with Hex. It's kind of weird with an HP lead because it's like it wants to be a fast unit. This is a unit with Hex. I think it's a very good unit. I think I'm also going to put it in the S tier. It might be a very familiar thing or a very similar thing for most of these. Green is one of my favorite support units in the game. Super, super strong unit. Good base HP on this thing. The S2, doesn't crit. Good for Dark Joker. You get the shield and the heal. It's a good unit. And I've forgotten where they are down here. So I'm also going to put the green one in the S tier. I think they might all go in the S tier, guys, for me. Dark is one of the strongest units in the game, in my opinion. Immediately going up to S tier. It's busted. This is one that just so strong, does so much damage. Got the attack bar, absorption. If you guys are lucky enough to have one of these, probably one of my most wanted LD5s. Light. I think this is this is a good unit too. They're all good. This one has the remove buffs and the cooldown thing. I think of the Specialist, I might like this one less than some of the others, but I still think it's an S tier unit. I think this whole family gets S tier for me, which is crazy to think about. All right, let's talk bookworms. So light one, this is the Reviver. I think this gets an S tier for me. Super strong support unit, good healer. Yeah, not much else to say about it. It's a good unit. The dark one is very niche and very rarely used anymore. It can do the ignore passives on light attribute. Don't really see people trying to cleave with it too much anymore. I think when Element Fission first started, this was an S tier cleave unit, but nowadays you don't really see it all that much. I think I'm gonna put it down in like C for it. That you can, if you build it good and you can cleave with it, sure. I just think there's more usable cleave units. The green one, for example, this is one that, if you're fighting a heavy defense team, you can definitely try a Lucian strike here. I'm going to have to put it in the OP. You can two-man teams with a Hog and Bookworm with the ignore defense. Red one is used more in arena cleaves. Don't really see people trying to cleave too much with it. In territory war, you probably could. It's probably similar to the dark one, and maybe it's a B. I don't know, somewhere. I just don't see people using it, so it's going down in C. Blue, however, is used a lot and is a very strong control unit. I think, where do I want to put it? I don't know if I want to. It's definitely a strong unit, and it could be. It's either an S or an A. I can't say Blue Bookworm is as good as some of these other ones, so I will put it down in A. I think it's a very good unit, though. Okay, so for monks, we can start with Dark. I think Dark has a very strong passive. We get a cool 33% speed lead, putting the silence on things, and then we get that little bit extra damage in there. I think Dark is a very strong unit. I think I would dare say I'm gonna put it in the S category. This silence thing in particular can really mess up some offenses going into it. The blue one has the HP based, the HP mechanic. Very gimmicky unit, right? So it's you can do some wombo combos with HP based things. On defense, the AI is kind of dumb. It can be very strong in taking out, on offense, taking some things out. Defense, I think it's kind of meh. Never really afraid to fight these things on defense. I think I'll maybe put it in B. Red one has the the mechanic that if it's fast, you get this extra chance of glancing. Not busted or anything. It's an okay unit. I think solid B maybe. I think a lot of the monks are kind of maybe in this B territory. Green one, this is the one that was recently changed where you can now put the whatchamacallit, the buff onto your allies or whatever they did in the recent balance patch here. There is the 42% defense lead, which is non-elemental, which is nice. I think it's a solid tank. If I can find him. Doesn't help that once you grab one, the whole thing moves. Okay, they're down here. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the A, B-ish territory. I think I might be just putting them all down here. Defense-based units are also just hard to use in on defense, ironically, just because of ignored defense. The light one, this one is also a very strong unit. It has the action bar thing, right? Can mess up a lot of offenses. Which, it's kind of a SA, kind of in this area. I'll put it here for now. This is one I'm not 100% sure. I don't see a whole lot of these things. Definitely in arena, it's very strong. I think we did all these. Alright, so some of the new-ish Nat 5, some of the fairies. So I think blue is a very strong unit for going into control teams. Get that chance to freeze. You can throw debuffs back on the enemy. I think this is a great unit. I'm going to put it here. Red. I can pretty much say I've never seen a red fairy on defense, and I don't think I've ever been attacked by one. I don't have one. Frankly, I don't have much of a basis to really talk about it. Just because you don't see it all that much. But from what I gather, it's not doing a whole lot of damage. This is one where I just have to put it down here in like the D category, just because you never see this thing. If you guys are Red Fairy users, you know, speak up in the comments. But just based on my experience, you know, I think it has to go down there. The green one is one that I also never see, but it does have, you know, if you're doing some dot things, right, with like the witches or something, maybe you could do like a dots offense, something. Don't really see it a whole lot either. I think it's probably better than the red one though, because I at least know there is some potential with it, right? So maybe it's kind of it's maybe a C or a B. Again, I definitely see it way less than all these units. I'm gonna maybe put it in C. And light and dark. Now, again, so these are ones I'm not super confident on. I don't see them a whole lot. I don't think I've ever really been afraid to fight at these. So the dark one, right, has the leech seed thing. This might be better on like offense. Kind of a weird mechanic. Transfers received healing and absorbs 20% HP each turn, which is cool. It's kind of a, you know, a nice little passive. Is it super strong? Don't see a whole lot of people using it. I don't know if a whole lot of people have it, to be honest. But like I said, I'm not super confident in some of these ones, but you know, we'll maybe put, you know, maybe like a C or a B, something like that. I don't know, maybe C. And this one has the Tempting Reef one, right? Yeah, so this is one where allies will uncontrollably attack. I do know some of my guildies use this on defense, and it's been working out pretty good. You do get the 33% HP lead. Probably not a busted unit, but maybe better than some of these other ones. Maybe we'll put it, you know, maybe in the B category. And again, I don't see it a whole lot, so take these fairy ones with a grain of salt. The blue one's the only one that I know I use a whole lot and see it a whole lot, and it's good. All right, so sorcerers. They're another very interesting passive mechanic on this entire family. Red, you know, that's the one where it's kind of a perna plus, right? So it's going to be able to protect some other units on your team. Very, very strong unit on defense. I think it's an OP unit. I don't think it's broken. I think it's beatable, but it's just very strong. The green one, this is the one. If you have like a super fast one, this can be a very strong unit. Definitely don't see it a whole lot on like defense or anything. I'm gonna maybe give it like a B. It's kind of like B or C-ish to me. If you have like super fast runes and have like a specific use case, you could probably, you know, it's probably A or whatever for you. But in general, probably a B. The blue one, this one could do the reset. Again, this one needs to be very fast. This is probably an A tier unit to me on defense. If it's fast, like if it goes second or whatever, then it's like it's bad. But if it goes first and resets and you can get your control thing going on, it's probably pretty good. So we'll maybe put it up there. I have the light one, so I have a little bit of experience with this. So and it you know, it does have the speed lead, and the only thing that really is important on this is the S3 here, which it, you know, clears debuffs, gives immunity and invincible, and it, you know, if they have less health, it can do more. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Isn't the most tanky unit in the S2. It can do some silence, but not super strong. It's been very okay. I don't think it's quite S tier. I think it's maybe an A. And then there's the dark one. So this is the one that can avoid AoE. If you're attacking a team that has a lot of AoE, this is very strong. Obviously, if not very strong, right? So it's very, very niche. I think I'd maybe get it's probably like an A or a B. On defense, probably not all that great, just because people could just not bring AoE into it. So I think maybe we'll give it a B. It's kind of what I'm feeling. All right, for Merc Mommy. So let's start out with the blue one, which I think is maybe the most famous Merc Mommy. So this is a unit that, almost exclusively used with the green bear. I haven't seen anyone really come out with a cool comp that uses it without the green bear, unfortunately. Which is, without the green bear, it doesn't seem like it's doing all that great. With the green bear, you see this thing all the time, green bear plus another unit, maybe even a sorcerer. I'll probably put it up here in the OP category for now with the combination with the green bear. Just because, you could you pretty much always take turn 1 whenever that goes. Could do some decent damage, get the invincible thing, some cleanse. It's a good unit. Red is also a good unit. Immune to inability effects. So this is one that, as the match goes on, it's going to get stronger. I think it's a good unit. Is it an S tier to me? Probably not. Maybe an A tier. The green one. So this is one that I really liked. It's like an HP lead, and it prevents, shares damage, all that kind of thing. It was really good early days of Summoners, or of Element Fission. I think it's kind of fallen off a little bit. Just ignore defense, hit it. Doesn't do any damage. It's really just kind of a, it is another paperweight unit. So I'm actually probably going to put it in the C category. Dark, so this is the one that does the shield stuff. Is kind of countered by a lot of the ignored defense. I think it's still a very strong unit, though. I think we'll maybe put it's probably an A. And then a light one. So this is one that I need to remember what this one does. I don't really see it all that much, so I need to just kind of reread some of its things. So it has the same hyperflyers, and then the S3. Enemies with lower defense can glance. When you attack, you heal. And you can apply it to others. I don't see this one a whole lot. So this is one I don't have the most informed opinion on it. So it's probably, that is probably not an S tier. Maybe we'll put it down here in the B tier. It does seem like an okay kit. I just don't see it all that much. We do them all? Yep. All right, Man-at-Arms. This is another contender for one of the strongest families. Like, all of these units are good in their own way. Maybe we'll start with blue. So blue, I do use this one a lot. It does have the AoE freeze and deplete attack bar, and the escort, and the S1 freeze chance. Definitely used a lot in PvE. Definitely usable in PvP as well. It's either, kind of in the A or the S tier. It's up there. It is a defense-based unit that isn't super fast. It's kind of a weird, because it's a control bruiser unit. I'm torn on this one, guys. This is like maybe an in-betweener. Let me see. So if I compare it to some of these other units, I think I do like it maybe up here. I think I'm going to put it in the S category. Red, very strong bruiser, one of the best maybe HP leads, capable of soloing a lot of teams, does good damage. It's a very stat hungry unit. It's hard to build, but if you can build a good one, it's very strong. I think I'm gonna put it. I think it's another S tier. The green one is maybe the most underused of the Man-at-Arms. It's a cool unit with the root mechanic that not a lot of other units have, which they can't do the counterattacking or get extra turns and things. And it does have an S1 defense break. That's a good unit. Do I think it's as strong as these? Maybe. They're all very close. I think I might put this one into A just because it's not used as much. It's still definitely a good unit though. The light one, so this is the one. This one has a speed lead. It has the remove debuffs and cooldown, and then the escort, and then it's interesting now that the S1 with the recent patch has recovery. I think it's a good unit. kind of use it in a, because it's a speed lead, you can kind of use it in a whole bunch of different situations. I think I'll put it up in the S tier. And then the Xoranath, this is a very strong, it's a strong unit, does a lot of damage, capable of, kind of like one-shot in a lot of things. Its downfall is it's usually on some slower teams, and you can just kind of, ignore defense or cleave it or whatever, unless it's the rest of the team's fast enough. I do think I want to put it in the, I do think I want to put it in the S tier. Surgeons. Okay, so I guess we could start with blue. So blue is cool because it has a speed lead, does good damage, it always has element advantage. I think it's a strong unit. I don't think I'm gonna put it in the S tier though. I do think it's an A. The red one is the Oblivion one. Good 5-star Oblivion unit, to be honest. Don't see it a whole lot on defenses, but on offenses, it's very good. A or B, maybe. Yeah, it's got it. You know what? With the Oblivion mechanic makes it bumped up to an A. Green one. This unit is pretty strong. There's some defenses that can, I think it's one of the better ones on defense, actually. I think I'll give it an A, too. Most of these are A's. Dark is very strong. It has the, this debuff thing. Attack enemies with debuffs. Each debuff increases damage by 30%. You do a lot of damage with this. I think he is an S tier unit to me. And then there's the light one, which I don't know what the light one does. I don't think I've ever fought a defense with it. So I need to read what the S3 does. Can steal buffs. Each buff you own decreases damage. Any buff you gain will be spread. That's a cool mechanic. Just because I haven't seen it, I'm not going to put it in like an S tier. I don't think I can vouch for it for being an S tier. But that's, just on paper, that seems like an A tier thing. Where's my last surgeon? Is there a doctor in the house? I don't even have that many units left, and I still can't find. There he is. Yeah, we'll give him an A. We'll put him up here with the others. All right, Music Queens. So blue, this is the one that boosts attack bar, puts attack up and shield. This could be used for some like snipe teams and things. Definitely not a great unit on defense. Kind of has like a single use case, really. So I'm gonna maybe put it as B. It does good at what it, for that use case, but not a very generally good unit though. The red one has the, AoE. This one I love on paper, but in practice it's just not super strong. It can strip, push attack bar back, won't glance, AoE, defense down, incurable blind. Like on paper, that's great. HP lead, not super usable on it. Kind of a weird unit to have an HP lead. It's definitely not an S tier. Probably not an A. I think I'm going to give it a solid B. I think, yeah, B. Green, this unit just isn't used right now. The sleep mechanic's not great. I don't think I've ever really seen it. Actually, I could say I don't think I've ever seen it on defense. Offense, don't really see people using it either. I don't think it's relative to some of these other ones. That one could use some attention and some balance patching. I'm gonna put it down at D actually. And then light and dark are both very strong units. Do I think they're busted? This one does have the two-turn AoE Oblivion, which is super strong, and then this one just does a whole bunch of debuff based things, which they're both strong. Do I think they're S tier? I do think they're S tier. I think they're very good if you have the right runes on them. If you're slow and don't have accuracy and stuff, they're probably like F tier. But if you can build them right, they're very good. Alright, so the new Vikings. Where do I want to put some of these guys? We'll start with the blue one, which I've gotten recently, had some experience with. I like playing with him. He's definitely in one of, in some of the good categories here. I don't think he's too usable on defense right now, just because there's not a whole lot of non-water units with freeze, right? So he's kind of hard to get different elements in. But he is a good bruiser, does some good damage. He's maybe in this like A, B category somewhere. Relative to some of these other things, I think I'm going to have to give him a B. This is a B unit that I really like. The red one has the health mechanic. Very gimmicky, of course. Not usable on defense. Kind of good with Blue Monk. Can counter some HP things like the Dark Sphere and the Twin Blade. Other than that, I think maybe I'll put him in a B tier too. Green one, this is one I don't have a lot of experience. Seen some guildies using it. Can do some weird solo stuff. Pretty strong unit. I think it's I think they're all kind of in this area. Not the best on defense teams, as you can ignore defense. The shield is good. I still think I'm gonna put it down here though. The light one, I've only battled this in some arena teams, and it's super hard to kill. Yeah, this is one I don't have a whole lot of basis to judge other than what I've seen in arena. And when I fought it in arena, it was pretty hard. I think I'll probably give it an A. And then the dark one, a couple of my guildies have it. Seen just a little bit of it. Seems cool on paper. Doesn't seem to do a whole lot of damage at this point. We'll maybe give it a B. I don't think I've fought too many, if any, of these yet. So I can't really... This is another one I can't really weigh in too much on, but from what I've seen, not the greatest unit at the moment. Did we do all the Vikings? Yeah, that's why I end up giving most of these Bs, right? Alright, and then we're on to the String Mage, which I think is our last family with LD5s. Or 5-star units at all. The light one, I do have the light one. I have a lot of experience with it. I think it is a very strong unit. I don't think it's broken. People definitely beat it on defense and things. But it is a great support unit for some control teams. And, one of the most important things is just it has a great base speed, which makes it very good. The dark one is also very good, very strong. I think it's also S tier. Has the true damage thing. Also, attack up, heals. Just has a good kit. Maybe more aggressive than the light. Where is it? Yeah, we'll put you up here in S tier too. Then on to the elemental ones. So these are all kind of support units. I think they're good. I don't think they're like the most OP units. We're starting to get into 4-star territory with them, right? Blue, yeah. So blue has the shortened buff duration, or shortened buff duration and extending your own buff duration. Doesn't, it's a speed-based damage. It doesn't do a lot of damage. And it has the attack up and heal. So it has an HP lead. It has an okay kit. Red one, yeah, people use the red one too. This one has the AoE strip situation on it. It is the one that has like the defense stuff, so increasing defense, and has the guild defense lead. Definitely usable. It's a solid B. Green one, I think this is probably my least favorite of them. These ones with like the flippy floppy health thing, it's too hard for my brain to wrap around, and too gimmicky. People use it, and I'm sure people can use it really good, but I am... this is my tier list, so she is, to me, not as good as the red and blue, so I'm going to put it down in C. Alright, so Sky Police. So we'll start with maybe the green one, which is, I think, the least used of all of these, if I'm looking at them. This one... I tried this one a couple times. Attack up and speed up for your whole team seems great. Doesn't end up being all that great in practice. I think this is another C tier unit. I think it's definitely usable, but not great. Blue, so this is the Galleon one. This is the attack up, defense down. Again, sounds, and it also has the speed lead. Sounds great on paper, but people don't really use it all that much. Just doesn't have the other units that you need for it to really shine. I think it's better than green, so it'll be a B tier. Red does good damage. It can do surprising amount of damage, actually. I think it's better than these ones. I think, yeah, I guess I have to give it an A at that point if it's better than blue. Then light and dark. Dark, I use a good bit with like domes. I think it's a great booster for defense-based damage dealers. Not really a good unit on defense, but it has one very specific use, and I do use it almost every territory war. To me, it gets an A. The light one does good damage. It's usually fast. It's probably another A. I don't think it's broken or anything. Alright, so for the new units, dinos, blue is a very good unit. I like that it has this ability that's also also has like almost a passive mechanic to it without being passive, where if you get the stun, it's gonna just cleanse everybody. I think the thing that's holding this unit from being like a great unit back is it doesn't have like a heal for the team, right? So it's gonna cleanse things and kind of heal itself a little bit, throw some dots out, but doesn't heal itself. I think it's a good unit. We'll give it an A. Red is a very meh damage dealer. It has this lose HP thing and then does extra damage. You can actually like wake yourself up from hurting yourself, but it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. I don't think the red one is all that good. We'll maybe put it in like C. Green is one I'm super disappointed in. Doesn't do great damage. This tail whip, it's you know, I wish it did more damage, and this would be more of a fun unit. You can probably use it as a more on the like disruptor side rather than the nuker side. It just doesn't do good damage. Removing buffs and depleting action bar on a single target, that's all right. It does have an AoE Oblivion, however, it's a 50% chance AoE Oblivion with it, which is super inconsistent. I don't think the green one is very good. I'm gonna put the green one in D. Then we have the light one, which has the mariachi thing, which increases the attack damage, and it's a speed lead. You can use this with like a bookworm, or I used it in a like all witch cleave team. I'm having a hard time getting the mariachi mechanic to be useful in territory war. I think it's very hard to use. I think it's probably a C tier unit. Dark, I don't have dark. This is the one with the unrevivable mechanic. I don't have a lot of experience with it. Seems maybe okay. Maybe we'll give this one a B. Kind of in the C or B range. Alright, witches. Blue one is used occasionally. It does have a speed lead. The most important thing is it has this, you know, HP-based steel thing, which can be used to kill like Dark Joker and things. It's usable. Probably not the best unit. I think it's a B to me. Red. This is one I still don't have it skilled up, so I don't have a whole lot of testing. I don't see anyone really using it. You know, it's kind of a nuker one. It has the sleep thing, but sleep is kind of meh right now. I think I will. Where is it? It's down here. I think it's maybe somewhere. It's a C or a D probably. If I can build it and test some damage, I think I have hope for it. So maybe we'll put it in C. Green one. I tried to use this one a lot early on when it first came out. It has the, you know, the AoE defense break, and then this weird mechanic that can also hurt your team, where once something's resisted, then it's going to reduce resistance to everybody, and it has toxic, which is all right. Nobody really uses it on defense or anything. I think it's better than these ones. I think I'll give it a B. Light and dark. Okay, so I do have light and dark. I think these are good offense units. Probably not great on defense. AoE strip stun, you know, if you have bash or something, is really nice. I think the dark one, to me, it's kind of like in between a B and an A. I think these might all be B units. Light does some good damage. You know, I did that team with like the Dino, with the Dark Witch and Light Witch. They can do okay damage and can do some cleaving. Probably better off using a couple other cleavers, but it's okay. Alright, the Rippers. Red, you see used a lot on both offense and defense, especially in 4-star teams. Good unit. I don't think it's broken or anything. Maybe an A. Green one. I don't see people using the green one all that much. It does have the, like, prevent reviving thing, which can be used in some niche cases, but it seems kind of hard to use, to be honest. I think maybe a C. Blue one. This is the one that can put the unyielding on. This one did recently get a buff. I think it needs maybe more of a buff to still be usable. I still don't think it's very good relative to some of these other units. Too hard to time the timing of unyield on your team. I think he's down here. Light. This is one that has a very weird mechanic on the S3 where it has all this like confusing stat stuff, and then you throw out a bunch of different debuffs. Does okay-ish damage. It's not a great damage dealer. Do I think it's better than these? Maybe. It's kind of a betweener. I think I'm gonna put them. Just keep them down here. Keep them with the family. The dark one, however, I think the dark one is neat. It has the revive mechanic, and it has the you know, this Mark Oblivion. Some guildies uses to kill dark jokers. I think it has more of a use case than maybe some of these other ones. So to me, it's maybe a B tier. All right, Annihilator. So these all have some interesting uses. So this is a great snipe unit, not a great unit on defense, but very good at what it does. To me, that's A tier. Can usually one-shot things if it gets to move. Red is an okay booster. You can use it with, you know, you could even use it with the blue one, or domes, or, you know, whatever snipe unit you have. And it's cool because it can work with both attack-based units and defense-based units. I don't use it a whole lot, but it is usable. It's kind of a A or a B. I think relative to some of the other boosters, I don't like it as much. I'm gonna put it in B. Green is the control unit. I think it's an underused unit. It's kind of hard though because we're in super high res meta. But for a 4-star control, it's one of the best. I think it is usable. I think I will give it an A. Light's a weird one. When you attack other things, it's gonna put dots. It's kind of hard, like, because the player can just figure out. I don't know. I'm usually able to work around this passive and like either stun this thing and then attack other things, or just attack it. It's kind of meh. I'm sure you could come up with like some kind of very annoying comp and like confusing thing with cloaking. I think it gets maybe a B. I think it's more usable on offense. On offense, it's maybe an A. I think just overall, maybe a B. The dark one has some cool mechanics. I did try to play around with it. I think it's okay. It has this foresight thing. It does okay-ish damage. I think one of the maybe most usable things is it ignores buffs, so you can attack into things with like invincible or shield or whatever. I think maybe a B. All right, pirate captains. Blue one's more of a PvE unit. Don't really see people using it in PvP like at all. Definitely don't think it's good on defense or anything. I think we'll maybe give it, yeah, probably a C category. Red is not used a lot. I think it's maybe slightly underused. I think it's a speed lead with some good control mechanics, but again, super high res meta, kind of hard to use in that situation. I think we'll keep him down here and see. I think personally he might be like a B or a C maybe. Green one is not used at all in PvP. I'm going to put him down in D tier. You just never see it on offense or defense. Light one, you see all the time, and it's very annoying. It's also, I don't know, if the passive works, it's good. If the passive doesn't work, it's kind of bad. I think I'll put him in A. I don't think he's quite OP. That's the one with the glancing thing. Usually you can just like snipe it off, and then it's just kind of a wasted unit. But if it gets rolling with like a bunch of revenge and bash stuns, it's super annoying. Dark one is one I use this one a lot early in my element fission career, but not so much now. Absorb attack bar, absorb HP. It's kind of a middling control unit. If you make it tanky enough, it can be all right. Probably a C tier. Do we do them all? Yeah. Okay, bomb mans. So blue's a decent unit. So it has the AoE bomb, very good on offense, maybe okay-ish on defense. People usually can play around bombs on defense. One of the cool things though is its revive mechanic. I think this is a good unit. I don't think it's busted or anything. I think it's maybe just a solid A. Red, you don't see red a lot. I think this is maybe. I don't have it built yet. This seems like it's a unit with promise that just isn't used a lot, like maybe an underused unit. Don't really ever see it on defense. Don't ever see it on offense, though. I think I'll have to give it a C for now. I think maybe play around with this one some more, guys, though. I think he has some promise with the, the spreading the bombs and things. Green is amazing in a single comp, which is the double hog cleave thing. Otherwise, not really usable on defense. Doesn't really fit well into other comps. Like I said, he's maybe one of the best at killing some Dark Joker teams, things like that. Just because of how good it is in the one thing, I'm going to give it an A. Everything else, it's maybe a B. Or, I mean, everything else is like low. I almost want to give it a B just because, you know what? I don't know. Might give it a B just because of the rest of its uses are bad. Dark, I think Dark is an underused unit. I think it's a good unit. It, you can throw bombs through immunity, which is really cool. Don't really see a lot of people using it though. But I have used it from time to time, and it's a fun unit. I think I'll maybe give it a B. And then the light one, don't really see it used a whole lot. Sometimes on offense, never on defense. It does have strip and can put some bombs. It's okay-ish. I don't use it a whole lot. I'll put it up here in the B tier. Yep, that's the bombers. All right, gunslingers. So these are great PvE units. Not used a whole lot in PvP, though. There's been some. I've seen some. One of my guildies had a good team with the blue sharpshooter recently, which is maybe making me think about him a little bit more. I think blue is usable on some defenses. I don't know if I want to give it an A though. I think I'll put it down here in B. It's usable. Red isn't used all that much. The attack bar thing's cool. It doesn't have a guild lead or anything. Not really used on defense. Could maybe use it on offense. Don't really see people doing it all that much. Yeah, it's kind of like a B, C. Maybe we'll put him in C. Green. Again, great PvE unit. Not really a good PvP unit. I think I'll put him down in C. Light. I don't think I've ever seen anyone ever use light. I'm going to put it down in D tier. I've never seen it on offense or defense. Same thing with dark. Alright, robos. All the robos are pretty good. What do I want to put blue? I think blue's a solid B to me. It's an okay support. Red is bad on defense for the most part, but really good at you know, the one thing it does, which is this S3 for the attack bar increase and the attack up, right? So that's the thing it does. It does that very good. It doesn't do anything else well. Kind of hurts itself. I think it's a B. Yeah, probably both Bs. The tree one is, I think this falls under the underused category. It's a good defense-based bomber. Probably not a great unit on your defense team. Decent bomber for offense. Attack bar absorption, and you know, you can set bombs off early. I think it's a cool unit. Yeah, I think they're just probably Bs. Light's a good unit. You can help boost some things. I use it with domes, things like that. I think I'm going to give the light one an A. I think it's good on both offense and defense. Dark one. This is another one that's, you know, it's good in faster teams. I think it's maybe an A to me too. All right, Ninrats. Kind of an underused family, I think. Kind of hard to... The elemental speed lead, I'm, you know, not a huge fan of. But the skill sets on them are pretty good. Blue's decent. It does have the decreased attack bar thing. I think blue to me, I think it's you know, A or B, kind of in that category. I might... I might give it a B. It's a decent unit though. You guys can use it. Red has some good mechanics to it with the evasion, death prevent. I think it's hard to kill. Very annoying. I think it's a little bit better. I think it's an A. Green one is not used. It's a PvE unit. Don't really see anyone messing around with this. I think I will maybe put it down in the D category. Light has some good mechanics against revive, so it can kill them off pretty quick. So neat there. Not really good on defense. Kind of niche. Where's my rats? Oh, there's only like 10 rows left of things here, and I still can't find what I'm looking for. That is maybe a B. Dark one. I do use the dark one from time to time. It does good damage. The stealth mechanics kind of okay. Not a great unit on defense. All dark teams are still kind of pretty easy to counter. He's okay. Yeah, probably another B unit to me. All right, Archons. Blue ones, I don't really use them all that much. Don't see them used all that much. Not all that great on offense or defense. Just kind of a meh unit. Red one, super gimmicky. It can, if you're lucky, do some good things. I don't think it's great, though. I'm going to put it in the C category. That's the one where you get that chance of an extra turn. Like, every once in a while, it can shine. I think the RNG's a little hard for it to really shine. Kind of easy to kill. Green one, also not all that good. Not used that much. Probably a C. Light, however. Oh boy, is Light used. Light is, I think, one of the best 4-star units right now. And I'm even going to put it up here in the SSS broken. And I think I might not have mentioned this, but I was starting to get too many in the S tier. I thought I would maybe break out the like super busted units and put them up top. Dark one is okay. He is usable. Do I think he's great? No. Can you get some defense wins with him? Yeah. Are you going to use him on offense? Probably not. Where's the Archon? There he is. I think he's better than these guys, though. So I'll put him up in B. Alright, ant cannons. Blue... If we weren't in super high res meta, I think blue would be like an S tier one for me. I think he's a good boost unit. However, because people just throw a light bear at it, it's kind of easy to counter. It's okay-ish on offense. I think this is a unit that in future metas will probably, if the meta gets out of this res meta, I think he will be up here in this S tier. For Dow, I'm gonna say he's probably an A. Red is one that I have to remind myself what it does. Don't really see it used all that much. Increase your action, but yeah, I never see anyone using red. It's C or D. Let me look at it again. I'm gonna put it here for now, but let me... AoE defense break, won't glance. When you attack an enemy, increase your action bar. Yeah, I don't know. AoE defense break, I can't put an AoE defense break unit in D, but I don't think he's all that good. Green one, again, I don't know what this one does. Never see it. Attack all enemies, remove all buffs, won't glance, get an extra turn. Attack up, crit up. Yeah, well, that seems like an okay kit. Nobody's really using it, though. Light one, I don't have the light one. Deplete, and this is... Yeah, it's the one that's going to deplete the action bar of all allies, going to put paralysis. It's kind of a weird gimmick. I guess if you're fast enough, it can be usable. Never see it on defense, really. I don't know, maybe a B. Maybe more usable than the red and the green. Dark is used on both offense and defense, and it has this drain HP mechanic, which is very scary. Often used with, like, the Dark Monk. I think I will give... So I think it's better than these ones. I think it's a solid A. Potentially, it could even be an S if you're, for some people. Start mixing in some 3-stars here, too. Mixture 3. So, Cult Dancer, blue one. Nobody's ever using a blue one. It's a little easy to counter. I don't know. I'm going to probably put it in D. You might be... I know in Summoner's War there was a lot of offenses with... I forget the Summoner's War counterpart. The blue... I don't even remember. It's been so long. But anyway, this is a unit that keep an eye on it. That there could be some combos you can do or some ways to cheese out offenses using the shield mechanic. Nobody's really using it, though, right now. The red one... Every once in a while, rarely will throw out a red one. I don't think it's a great unit, but it is usable. I think we'll maybe put it in the C category. Green one. Even HP. Just kind of a generic healer. Not really all that good. Probably a C category, too. There's just so many units that do heals better. Light one has a revive. That's maybe a little bit better than some of these other ones. I don't have the light one. Yeah, maybe a B tier reviver. It's maybe an A or a B, somewhere up in here. I think maybe we'll put it up in A. Dark one's the one with like the invincible mechanic, which is okay. Maybe I'm gonna put the dark one in B. Alright, spiders. Nobody really uses the spiders. This one has an ability. This one has like the cleanse and stuff. Maybe not a D tier. It could be, some people could use it on some like 4-star tower offenses maybe. I'm just gonna put it in C though. Red one is one that I think is cool mechanically, that I want to be good, that I don't think is all that good. I really like the gimmick that it has. I think it's fun, but I don't think it's strong. Where's my ants? Here's my ants. I'll put it in C. green one, that's a PvE unit. Nobody uses the green one for pretty much anything. You don't use it on offense or defense. I'm gonna put it down here. Light one does. Some people rarely use it with the you know, the crit damage thing. I don't think it's all that good though. I think it's a C. And the dark one, another gimmicky one, just doesn't do enough damage to really be usable. You could do some gimmicky things with the flippy floppy health units, but I don't know. I think maybe we'll put them in C. Right, pumpkins. So nobody really uses the blue one in Territory War or anything. Kind of bad. The block on it, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Some of these I might, the D and C categories are kind of together. Red, this is the one with the dots. Yeah, nobody's using dots. Does have AoE dots. I'm just gonna put them down here though. Green one is good. It is a very strong sniper unit. HP based sniper unit, which is fun. Where's my pumpkin? Where's my boys? I think it's a solid A. It's kind of another one, like I would think about it for the S tier for like half a second. The light one nobody uses. I don't know, maybe we'll put it up in C tier. Dark one is a very fast, it's one of the fastest base speed units. Is really good for control teams. I will, because of its base speed and how frequently you see it, I think I will actually put it up in the S tier. Alright, the gyros. So these are all units that are, if you're like brand new to Element Fission, these are usable. Nobody's really using them beyond that. You can use them, but you're probably using it in place of a unit that just does whatever it does better. But the blue one, so this does have AoE defense break with a bad probability. Does have AoE remove, it's an AoE strip, which is okay. It's certainly usable. Maybe we'll put it up here in the B category. I think it's like more usable than like the Archons, for example. The red one is, again, it's an okay attack bar booster. It's a little slow. Can heal, can put immunity. It's very average unit. Green one, I think some people used to use this on like defense. Does have a cool mechanic. I think this is maybe a underexplored unit. It has the AoE defense down, but the mimicry is the real nice thing here. Immune to defense break. I think we'll maybe give the green one. I can't give it an A. I'll put it in B. Light one. Some people use this on offense. Not a great defense unit, but it's okay for putting some, some control and defense break and that kind of thing. I still think it's a B though. Dark one is very weak, but it has the thing that you can't revive. If they would boost this unit up, it could be very good. It has some niche uses, but it's kind of bad. We'll put it in the C category. All right, giants. Blue giant is one that I tried to use a good bit and tried to make him really tanky. I think he is not all that good. I think he's a C. Red is maybe a sleeper sniper unit. The S3 is actually really strong. There's a lot better snipers, but this is one, like, if you want to use this on offense, you can. I think I'm gonna put it up here in the B category. Green, great PvE unit, and it has attack up, defense up, crit up. It's missing the heals to help your team. I don't think it's really all that usable in Territory War. Maybe give it a C. Light one, it's the one that, heals. This is one I haven't really played around with it a lot. I'd like to try it out, but nobody's really using it. Where is he? Yeah, probably a C. Dark, I used to use Dark a lot. Another great PvE unit. Maybe an okay-ish PvP unit. Again, one of his biggest problems is, he's just slow. But AoE attack bar pushback and stun, decent. Heal and speed up, decent. I think relative to some of these other giants, I think I like him better. I think I can put him up here into B category. Jokers. This is a very interesting family because their Dark Joker, I think, is going to get one of the very coveted Triple S broken. I think this Dark Joker is better than a lot of LD5s. It's just so strong right now with the crit mechanic. Very overtuned unit. Very OP on offense, very OP on defense, very hard to deal with. It's a super strong unit. The other ones, they're all kind of meh. And I need to revisit. I always mix up what the other ones do together because they all kind of do similar things. So this one has, and they all have like crit dampen and like weird crit mechanics. This one strips and removes buffs. I think these might end up all being like C's. Attack up, incurable, yeah. And then these might all just be C's. The green one, yeah, nobody's using a green one either. Defense down, effect up. And it even has like a guild leader skill, but it's just kind of worthless. Light one. It's the always crit mechanic. Yeah, it's just not as good. Yeah, I think these are all just like C units. Like you could probably use them if you want. A lot better units to use instead though. Alright, turtles. Turtles are kind of usable-ish. Not the greatest units. This one has the attack bar increase. This one's maybe more usable than some of the others. You can, use it as a booster. It's, it's a little bit slow though. A little bit slow base speed. I'd probably take it out of there. We'll probably put it in the B category. It's usable. The red one. Red one is also usable and has the cool stealth mechanic. Kind of hard to... It doesn't have any, like, heal or anything, so you also need, like, a healer with it, and then you're down to, like, just one damage dealer, and it's a little hard to slot into a territory war thing, but I think he's okay. Green one, for PvEs, like a Triple S tier is a great PvE unit. For PvP, not so good. I will give it a C. Light one. People use the light one a lot. Has the thing where it's going to give extra HP. A lot of times people use it on like all light teams, which just get like hard countered by Joker. This is usually the unit that can kill the Joker on your team because it won't have a lot of crit, but it's still kind of meh. It's usable. I don't think it's great. It's better than the green one here. I think it's just a solid B. Dark one also has some cool mechanics with the reduced crit chance and really just the chance of stun. I think that's a cool mechanic. Do I think it's a great unit? No. I'll put it up here with its family. All right, sharpshooters. So blue sharpshooter and like the blue twin blade are a great combo. Blues, it's used quite a bit. I think it's a great offense unit. I think it's a bad defense unit. Nobody's really using red. Red's kind of a okay. I guess if you're doing like an all fire 4-star team or something, red could be okay. Do okay damage. I think we'll put it maybe into B. Green. Nobody's using green. I don't think green really has a lot of use. We'll put it down in C. Light one. This does have a boost and heal. Missing just a lot of things. I don't know. It needs more for it to really be good. I think it's a C. Dark one. This is an interesting. It's a really good PvE unit. Dark one I think can be used. I use it sometimes with like all dark teams with like Ninrat and stuff like that. It's okay. It's just a okay damage dealer. I think maybe we'll put it in a B. The hogs. I do like all of the hogs. I think they are all good for territory war. I think blue gets an A to me. This one can cleanse and put the crit damp in. Attack bar boost, attack up. It's a good booster. Red's also very good. This is the one with the passive cleanse. Very usable. I think it's a solid A. Green is the most controversial, I think, of them because it kind of has like the damage mechanic. It's kind of easy to play around. It can be very strong rarely, but I think even though it's one of the few 3-star units with like an HP lead, I don't think it's as good as it could be. So I think the green I'm actually going to put in like C. Light, love light. Light is one of my favorite units. It's a 3-star reviver, speed lead, attack bar booster, attack up. I think this is a great unit. I think I'm actually even going to put it in S tier. I think it's a great unit. Dark Hog is one that I've recently started using more and have gotten a lot more appreciation for. I think it's a very good unit. It has a lot in its kit. Great at removing debuffs, speed up, effect up, healing, defense up. It does have an accuracy lead. I think it's a good unit. Do I think it's S tier? No. Do I think it's A tier? Yes. Alright, domes, another strong family. This one does have an HP lead. Blue dome's usable on defense, can be usable as a tank on offense. It's an okay unit. I don't think it's super strong or anything. I think maybe it's a B tier to me. Red, so excellent at sniping. I think this is a great unit. It's borderline. It might even be an S tier just because of how strong it is. I'm putting it in S tier. I think it's super strong. Same thing with the green. Both of these units are just super strong sniping units. Light is used very nichely for trying to tank Dark Joker. I don't really like it all that much, though. I don't think it's a great unit. I know a lot of people use it. This might be one y'all disagree with me more on. I think to me it's a B. It's usable. Dark is a great control unit. I think I give Dark an A. I think it's usable on offense and defense. It's a good control unit. Popos. Alright, so blue one is the one where you hit it and you get dots. Nobody's really using it. I think this is one that you could do a gimmicky team with and maybe catch someone off guard. Not really used all that much though, so we will put it in the C category. Red is kind of bad for territory wars. I think it's down here in the C. Great PvE unit though. Green, I think green is usable as it's a good base speed, decent booster. You can put some defense down. I think this is maybe more usable than some of the others. We'll put it maybe in B tier. Light, nobody's using light. Probably down here. It's cool. Excellent PvE unit, bad PvP unit. Dark has some. It's a usable dark tank. I've played around with it a little bit. It's not like OP or anything, but it is usable. So I think it gets beyond the C tier for me. I think it's actually to me a B tier. All right, Clockworks. Blues, the dot one. Not all that great for territory where I think I'm actually even going to put it in D. Red one is an excellent PvE unit. Not a great territory war unit. I think I'll maybe put it in C. Green one. This one does have an ignore defense. People do use it from time to time. It's okay. I think maybe the green one gets a B. We'll do dark first. I think dark is a very strong snipe unit. I use it all the time. I think solid A. Light one. This one I haven't played with it a whole lot. I know I've seen it on defense like rack up like a crazy amount of wins, and some people use it on offense. Has this very confusing passive based on your stats relative to other things. could be an A, could be, it's kind of in this area. We'll put it in B with the I think it's similar to green. All right, steel wings. None of these are really used all that much. I think they're usable, but they're like, if you're like early game, you could probably use some of these. But I'll put it in D tier. Red one. This one heal attack up. This one's maybe slightly more usable. We'll put it in C. It does have the heal. Green one. Defense up, attack up. Attack all enemies, speed down. Kind of meh. Light one. Remove debuffs and heal. That's okay-ish. It's just, yeah, there's just so many units that do what it does better. The dark one. Dark one has a cool kit with, you know, AoE, speed down, absorb attack bar, AoE defense down, and dots. The thing that holds it back is the activation rate, so it's a little inconsistent. I think it's maybe better than some of these. It's maybe a B. Alright, and I think the last family we need to do is the Wisp Catchers. Blue one is a good PvE unit. Not really used all that much in PvP. Probably put it in C. Red one. Yeah, nobody's using the red one either. This one used to have like a almost like a built-in corrupt, but they changed it, so I need to remember what the new one does. So you get the crit damage increase against tree. If you're fighting like all tree teams, maybe you could use this. I still think it's probably in the C category. Green. The only reason you would use this is for the Oblivion, which it does okay job at. Probably more usable than those two, so maybe we'll put it up in the B category. I'm not going to use it on defense or anything. Light has a good kit. I've just always been disappointed with it, but it on paper seems really good. AoE defense down, reduce attack bar. You know, it's not going to be resisted. It needs more units that can take advantage of that. Later, keep an eye on this one. I think this could grow up to an A or an S tier at some point, but with the current units, I think it's maybe a B. Dark one. This one has the weird like revive mechanics and things. I don't think anyone's really using it still. I think I'm just gonna put it in C. Alright, so I'm gonna take face cam off here and let's go back and revisit some of these and look at them together and see if we want to move any around. You know, I think I'm going to take some of these like 3 stars and 4 stars out of the OP tier. I think these ones here I think are super strong units, but I think I want to ultimately place them in the A tier. Even you, yeah, that feels better. Okay, so units in the S tier. Let's take it. Well, let's take a look here. These should all be very strong units. I'm just gonna take a quick glance. Yeah, I think these are all super strong. A tier should all be good usable units. These are all fine. B tier should be okay-ish units that, you know, these are all usable, but you maybe see less commonly. There's a couple here that could go either way. I think this looks okay. Now C and D, look at these ones together. I think these are kind of units that nobody's really using. They probably need buffed. I don't think I see. I mean, maybe Blue Iron Fist. I think I could justify moving it up. That makes me feel a little better, because I do use it from time to time. These are all kind of like units that like I would not really use all that much. You know, Red Pirate maybe. This is close. I'm never gonna get this perfect, but this is pretty close. You know, and these ones nobody's using. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. Yeah, so there you guys go. I'll scroll from the top here, let you guys take a look at what I have going on here. Let me know what changes you guys would make to this tier list for your own. And you know, like I said, even if I put a unit that maybe you really like a unit, maybe I put it in C tier or something, and you want to use it, go ahead and use it. Just because I threw it in like a C tier or something doesn't mean you can't use it and can't find ways to make it good. I'm just making a list based on relative strengths and my own personal experiences, and you know, how I see these units. So this is what that looks like. But yeah, let me know what changes you'd make, or if you know, agree, if any of these disagree. Try to be nice about it though. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and you know, if you like the video, give it a like, subscribe if you guys haven't, and we will see you in the next one.